Hi guys, welcome back to The Walls Are Closing In. So I know I'm so late in posting this and I do apologize, but it's just been crazy busy here, as you can probably imagine. But I know last time that we left off, it was talking about my stay in the hospital for 8 weeks, inpatient, before the twins were born. So I know I promised I would talk about that, so here we go. So it was around 26 weeks and had my weekly and bi-weekly appointments. And that's when we found out that their cords were still entangled, to the point that there was actually a pinch in one of the cords for June, my daughter June. And at that point, they're like, you know what? You can't be home anymore. We need to get you inpatient beyond the non-stress tests or NSTs 3 times a day to monitor her, to make sure that she'll be okay, and go over obviously the risks that are associated with being inpatient at 26 weeks in case if they do have to deliver them, what the chances are of them surviving, what their NICU stay is going to look like, the whole thing. So went inpatient. It was a few days after Easter and went inpatient, and at that point my son was only 9 months old. Doing the math on my head, it's been a long day. So he was only 9 months old, went inpatient, and we had 3 scares while I was inpatient there for 8 weeks. So I was on non-stress tests 3 times a day, and if one of the babies moved or they couldn't find a heartbeat, they had to call in ultrasound tech to find where the other twin was so they could put that twin back on the NST. Then if there were decels or contractions, I was on for another hour. So I would say on average my NST was about 2 to 3 hours long, 3 times a day. And it was to the point that after the 3rd scare, they told my husband, even though our son was only 9 months old, to stay until the last NST was done, which ended roughly around 1, 2 in the morning. And they wanted him to stay there in case if there was another scare and they actually did have to take me and the girls back to deliver them, he would at least be there. And we also had someone on call to come and watch JP if we did have to go and deliver the twins. So there was a lot of equations mixed into this 8-week long stay. So we always had someone on standby for the middle of the night in case if I had to go and deliver. We had someone during the day on standby. We were working on possibly trying to get a scheduled C-section date anywhere between 32 weeks and 34 weeks, depending on how the girls were doing. So when I hit the 32-week mark, it was a huge relief. I was actually able to get permission from the doctor to walk around the hospital where I wasn't stuck in the hospital bed. For those 8 weeks, I was able to go outside, get some air, people watch, just get off the floor so I wasn't going insane. I was able to go get my morning coffee and talk to my family, like my husband, my mom, my dad, and the list goes on. So then when I hit 32 weeks, I was a huge woohoo, we finally made it. And the girls were doing so good, the doctor was like, okay, we'll tentatively schedule you for exactly 34 weeks to deliver the girls. But you need to know that if there is a drop in one of the girls' heart rates or whatever, we have to deliver them. Okay, that's fair. With all the other scares we had and the conversation with the NICU at 26 weeks when I went in there, that scared the crap out of me where I was in tears. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with playing it by ear. We already made it to the original mark that we were told we should make it to, or try to make it to. That would be the ideal week to make it to. So we did. And then I was in there for 2 more weeks. When 34 weeks came around, it was, June 5th. And that's when we originally had the C-section scheduled to deliver the girls. Well, when they came in that morning, they told me, hey, it doesn't look like we're going to deliver them today because there are no beds in the NICU for the twins. So, of course, I was upset because, again, I know the risks. The longer they're in there, the higher the chances are of them not surviving. So of course I'm nervous, and I was just praying like, God, just let them be okay. After talking to numerous doctors later and fighting to make sure that my girls were going to be okay and that I was going to be okay, but they were most important. Sorry, they're playing, so they're loud right now. Obviously, that was most important to me. So the next day rolls around. We were told the same thing, don't plan on delivering. If there's an issue, we would have to deliver them, and then they would be shipped off to a different NICU while you're here for your recovery. And I said, absolutely not. I said, if anything, you guys should be shipping out the babies that are so close to coming home, that are on the verge of coming home any day now, where they can be closer to their mom and dad, and, make room for my twins. Of course, I was being a little bit selfish, but at the same time, it's like, you're not going to ship my girls off to a different hospital when they're already premature. You guys told me the minute I came into the hospital that when they are delivered, I will not be able to touch them or anything. They are going to go right to the NICU. So don't even think for one moment you're going to separate me and my babies that are premature to a different hospital. No, you're going to figure something else out. So they said about an hour or two later, they had one bed and they were holding it. And if, another baby should be going home from the NICU or going to a different room, to a different crib, and if that's the case, then they can deliver. So I called my husband. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over being sick. So I called my husband. I said, pack up JP, get ready. If there is another bed that opens up, it's go time. Like, they are not going to wait. So then I called the person who was going to come to watch JP so Darius could be back in the OR room with me to deliver the twins. Gave them an update. So then they were on standby. Then I got maybe 2 hours later the news that, okay, the bed opened up. How soon can everybody get here? So I called my husband. He said, I'm leaving now. He put JP in the car and he's on his way. And then I reached out to our friend who was going to come and watch JP, and he was on his way. And I said, give him about, half hour, 45 minutes. They said, okay, we're going to hold the beds. We can't go past that. Once that 45-minute mark comes, if they're not here, we have to go. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So we're coming close to that, half hour, 45-minute mark. They're prepping me for the C-section. And they said, it's go time. Where's your husband? I said, let me find out. He was 10 minutes out. I said, please, is there any way you guys can wait just 10 more minutes? Just 10 minutes. And they said, yeah. So the minute my husband got upstairs to the room, they said, it's go time. And he literally had enough time, excuse me, to scrub in, put his scrubs on. Our friend JT took JP. I know a lot of acronyms here. JT took JP, and as I was walking out, when Darius was behind me to go and deliver the twins, he said mama for the first time. Talk about breaking my heart. Like, oh my God, you finally said mama, and now I have to go and deliver your sisters. So we go in, and we delivered them, and during this time, before they delivered me, they gave me one last weigh-in. And my goal from the doctor, excuse me, for the weight gain, he wanted me to gain between 20 and 30 pounds, since I only gained 8 pounds with my son, and he was 6 pounds, 15 ounces when he was born. So before I went to deliver the girls, they weighed me one last time to make sure that they were giving me the right injections to numb, from my chest down. And I did not hit the goal that the doctor wanted me to hit. I only gained 9 pounds with the twins. So that was a little nerve-wracking because we were told, oh yeah, they're over 5 pounds, in the last ultrasound. So I'm like, okay, great. So I thought maybe I gained, the 15 to 20 pounds that my doctor wanted me to gain, which didn't happen. So needless to say, I was nervous going into the OR to deliver them. But we were just praying, and then after they got me all numbed up, that's when they brought